The humidity is oppressive today, and so here we are back in the cool dining room with another edition of Collecting Lizzie. The thing you're looking at here is a game called Marble Solitaire. 2 or 3 of my marbles have rolled under the sofa. So imagine all of the holes are full except the one here in the center. And why on earth am I showing you this, you're probably wondering? Well, if you read a very detailed description of the Borden sitting room on the day of the murder, this game is mentioned. There was a Chinese checkers that was played with marbles. This is not that. This be played by one person. The object of this particular game is to get yourself down to one marble in the center by jumping your marbles either diagonally. You would jump this and then you could remove that one until all were gone except one left in the middle. It's much more difficult than you would imagine. And I picture Andrew, perhaps, and Uncle John playing this marble solitaire game, maybe Lizzie on a rainy day. You can get this on Amazon. Of course, you can get everything on Amazon. So it's just a fun little detail because I love details, and I know some of you love historically accurate detail as well. So get yourself a game of marble solitaire and relive the excitement in the Borden sitting room. The next thing I wanted to show you, I was really excited about getting this lovely little porcelain cup. It says Souvenir of Fall River. It is, I guess, maybe you could put a little bouquet of flowers or something like that. I don't know if you'd actually use it for a drinking cup. I guess you could put your toothbrush in it in the bathroom. There was a craze for this kind of stuff right up, I'd say, into the 1940s. If somebody went to visit a town, and you always went back home with a souvenir. And there were many thimbles, spoons, cups, vases, little plates showing off various historical buildings sometimes, or just sometimes the name of the city. And I had looked forever for one with Souvenir of Fall River. I have seen the plates. They are currently plates on eBay showing the old custom house, the old city hall. They're pretty common, but I did love this little cup because I do collect these little souvenirs of towns that are connected to the Borden case. The shoe was very, very popular. I can remember my grandmother had these, and shoes were lucky, which is why they used to be tied to the rear end of a car with newlyweds driving off. This particular one is a souvenir. It says from, boy, that's hard to read, New Bedford, Massachusetts, where Lizzie's trial took place. So you'll see these in all kinds of material. This one is porcelain. Great number of these little souvenir items from that period. We're talking Lizzie's period right through the turn of the century, were these little porcelain things. And then here is one from Taunton. This is clearly a bud vase of some sort, would hold a few flowers. Pink, gilded, and white were very, very popular colors because mostly I would imagine ladies visiting on vacation would bring these back to other ladies for their bedrooms, boudoirs, sitting rooms. And so they're usually fairly delicate color, pink and white, and the gilded paint being super popular. So I'm looking for Marion, and it's very hard to find. While we're talking about vacations and such, I have a number of these. I'm just going to show you one. I'm sure Lizzie brought, get my hand out of the way here. Lizzie brought these back from her exciting trip with Caroline Borden and Alice Buck to Chicago in October of 1893 when she went to the Columbian Expo. There are scenes of all the buildings Lizzie would have seen on her visit. Massachusetts had its own building. This is a broad view of the lake and the buildings around the lake, which had gondola rides, a congregating point for everyone. Another view of the lake with the signature, and I think really hideous, statue that it was at the top of the lake, and another one on the side. So Lizzie would have seen all of these things and gone in to see the exhibits in the various exhibit halls like this. These little books sell for anywhere between $20 and $100, depending on how large they are, how ornate, who printed them. But you can certainly pick up little tiny ones with just maybe 10 little plates in for, maybe $10. But it makes a nice little addition to your Lizzie display and Lizzie's story. And speaking of tiny little books, I was really, really excited to get this in the mail today. I'm working a lot now on research in Taunton, and I have some very exciting things coming up to tell you about in the coming weeks. This is a little souvenir of Taunton, Massachusetts, with some pictures inside from 1890. And this is how the city would have looked to Lizzie when she was passing through on her way to the Taunton jail on Hodges Avenue. These were often bought to send back home to family and friends if you were passing through on vacation. And they're beautifully done, actually. Let me put my glasses on here so I can read this thing. Oh, okay, here we go. Taunton, Mass. Illustrations. They took great pains over embellishments in those days. Let's see, what does this say? Printed in New York. So we'll take a moment or two to look at it. This is the Common, which is still there when you visit Taunton. The big courthouse is at the top of the Common, and the jail would not have been too far away. Taunton was also called the Silver City because of the silver plate works there, also pewter, and silver working was the big industry. There's a certain picture I really want to get at, so bear with me with the phone all over. Let's see. Yes, these are the railway stations into Taunton. The one from Fall River, where Lizzie would have gotten off the train on her way to jail, where she was met by Mrs. Wright and Sheriff Wright. Okay, what I'm looking for is the City Hotel. So I should have put a marker in it, I guess. Oh, here's the tack factory. Okay, this might work. Also, New Bedford, Fairhaven had a tack factory. I think it was Atlas Tacks. So that's a collectible from that city. These are all the different churches. And there's a Congregational church. What I'm looking for at last is the City Hotel, which is, I got my finger over it. There's the camera. This is a lot trickier than I thought. Here we go. The City Hotel. There it is, the top left-hand corner. And I have something to read to you from Len Ribello's book, Lizzie Borden, Past and Present. If you don't have this book, it's very, very useful. I just leave it out because I use it so often. And what I'm about to read you is what it says about the City Hotel. Miss Borden is the first woman confined in Taunton jail against whom there's a suspicion of a capital crime. She has the same privileges of other inmates of the jail, and one of them is to have what food sent in that she cares to buy. Her friends see that she has what she wants from the city hotel, and her dinner was sent from the kitchen on Sunday. So it was fun to finally see what the city hotel looks like, because that is no longer around. So often when you buy these little souvenir books, the bonus is there are pictures of places that are no longer existing that Lizzie would have recognized and known during her time there. After Lizzie was acquitted, she also went back to the jail to visit Mrs. Wright. Her name was Mary Jane Wright, and to thank her for all the kindnesses given to her while she was at the jail. There also is in this little book a picture of the Taunton Lunatic Hospital. See if I can get that in close for you. I'll scan some of this stuff to put on our website later. All of these buildings have collapsed, and as of 2010, the big dome collapsed at that point, and these were all raised. Okay, I think we've run on quite enough. Next time out, we're going to be talking about furniture in the Borden house and Renaissance revival. See you soon.